Today, our group will tell about a topic about language testing. But before we start, we're gonna introduce ourselves. My name is Talita Ekel.
And my name is Kesia Rompis.
My name John Henry Mangadil.
My name is Nancy Pinatik.
My name is Jeremia Lasut.
Our group will also discuss about case studies about language testing, about how they work on real situations. In this video, we will tell about what language testing is and why is it important in education.
Hello guys, I'd like to ask you, do you know what is language testing or why language testing is an important in education? Yes, at this part we will discuss about this. We will discuss the basic concept of language testing and why it's an important topic in education. First, language testing refers to the process of measuring a person's ability to use language. This includes the four main language skills. First is reading, writing, speaking, and last, listening. Through the language test, teachers and institutions can understand how well learners use a language and what areas still needs improvement. Therefore, language is not only about giving scores, but about supporting learning. Today, language testing is used in many contexts beyond classroom. Language tests are required for university admission, job application, professional certifications, study abroad programs, and immigration purposes. Because language test result can affect someone's academic and professional future. So, language tests need to be designed carefully because a poorly designed language test might not reflect real language ability and may disadvantage certain learners. And there are several common types of language tests. First, a proficiency test. This test is used to measure overall language ability, regardless of how or where the language was learned. For example, include TOEFL or IELTS. The next one is achievement test. This test is to measure what students have learned in a specific course or programs. And the last one, a diagnostic test. This test is used to identify learners' strengths and weaknesses so that the teachers or the institution can provide more focused support. The last is the process of language test. The process of language testing is usually involved three main stages: is test design, test administration, and test evaluation. In test design, the test purpose, content, and question types are decided. And during test administration, the tests are given under fair and controlled condition. And finally, in test evaluation, the result of the test are analyzed to see whether the tests are valid or reliable. So understanding this basic concept help us to see that language testing plays an important role in to improving teaching and learning in education. Thank you.
Now we're in Article 1, a case study on language testing in an IELTS reading section and its assessment. The first article is a case study that focuses on the development and evaluation of an IELTS-style reading test. This study addresses a research gap because many previous studies discuss reading assessment in theory, but few explain how a reading test is actually designed and tested in a real classroom setting. In this study, the researcher worked with 43 graduate students. The test was designed based on clear test specification, including text selection, question types, and time limits. After the test was administered, the researcher conducted item analyzing using facility value and discrimination index to examine how well each question functioned. The findings show that students perform better on reading passages with familiar topics. In contrast, technical texts, such as those related to artificial intelligence, were more difficult for most students. Some question types, especially summary completion, were confusing and caused many students to skip them. This affected the validity of the test. Based on these results, the study concludes that the test needs major revision. Clear instruction, balanced difficulty, and careful item writing are essential for creating a valid reading assessment. This article highlights the importance of piloting and evaluating a test before it is used for real assessment purpose.
Now, Article 2, Perceptions on Language Testing and Assessment, a case study of B.Ed students in Nepal. The second article examines students' perceptions of language testing and assessment among B.Ed students in Nepal. Unlike the first article, the study does not focus on test design, but on how students experience and understand assessment. The study uses a qualitative case study approach. Data were collected from written reflections of 12 second-year B.Ed students. The analysis is based on Fulcher's framework, which identifies four main purposes of testing: gatekeeping, empowering, motivating, and grading. The results show that most students understand only the basic purpose of tests, such as grading or passing a course. Many students associate tests with stress, pressure, and unfairness, especially when instructions are unclear or scoring is inconsistent. Only a few students feel that assessment helps them improve their learning. The study concludes that low assessment literacy among students and teachers negatively affects learning experiences. It emphasized the need for clearer instructions, fair assessment practices, and meaningful feedback to make testing more supportive and effective.
Article 3, Student Preparation on the Application of Studies English Language Proficiency Tests as Gradation Requirement in Theories Higher Education in Indonesia. A case student at Trisakti School of Theories. The third article explores student preparation of studies English proficiency tests used as gradation requirement in theories higher education in Indonesia. This study focused on the empathy of high-stakes testing on student motivation and learning before the risk use a description a qualitative approach with data collected from questionnaire completed by 711 first years theory students. The file showed many students had limit experience with studies English tests before entering university. This made they feel less confident when facing the graduation requirement. While many students support the police because they believe it will improve their job opportunities, others flustered by the cost of the test and the pressure to pass someone. Some students also felt the test did not fully reflect the English skill needed in the tourist industry. The study suggests that university should provide better support as a test preparation program and academic counseling to reduce negative effects and ensure positive learning outcomes.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you guys the comparison about the three articles. In terms of similarities, the three articles share a common focus about language testing and assessment. All of the three articles emphasize that language testing has a strong impact on students' experiences and academic outcomes. The studies also show that students' backgrounds, prior experiences, and understanding of assessment influence how they perform on tests or how they perceive testing practices. Another similarity point about the three articles is that all of them highlight problems related to fairness, clarity, and pressure. Confusing instructions, badly designed tests, and stressful exams are common problems that can negatively affect learners. Now, I'm going to tell about the contrast about the three articles. Well, each article approaches language testing from a different perspective. The first article focuses on the technical aspect of test design, especially the development, trialing, and evaluation of an IELTS style reading test using item analysis. In contrast, the second article examines the students' experiences and perceptions with classroom assessment and NEPAL using a qualitative approach. Meanwhile, the third article focuses on the institutional policy, specifically the use of standardized English proficiency tests as a graduation requirement in Indonesia tourism higher education. These differences shows that language testing can be studied from technical, stylogical, and policy-related perspectives. In conclusion, the three articles demonstrate that effective language testing requires more than accurate scoring. A good test must be technically sound, clearly designed, and fair to students. At the same time, students' perceptions, emotions, and learning context must be considered. When tests are unclear or overly stressful, they may harm learning rather than support it. Therefore, language testing should aim to guide and improve learning, not create fear or unnecessary pressure. By balancing technical quality, student experiences, and institutional goals, language testing can become a meaningful tool for academic and professional development.